Today I want to give you a hint on how to prioritize project, strategic objectives, ideas, tasks, or just your own workload you find on your desk every day. Therefore, I've prepared a matrix, and one axis of the matrix should show the impact on your objective. So the impact on what you want to achieve, and the classification is only kind of high impact, low impact. On the other axis, we go for the effort. So how much effort does it take to put your idea, the project, the task into practice? The effort can be measured either by the budget or personnel intensity, so whatever you like best here. And also here we distinguish between low and high. So it's getting obvious now that we kind of having these four quarters here, where we can say, well, the best is the ones who have a high impact of what I want to achieve, and comparatively to the other ideas, projects or tasks, a low effort to go for. So these are the ones where I would say, do it. Put it into practice first. As effort is low, you will have the first kind of acknowledgement and you will feel happy that you have done something. But of course you cannot avoid to go through the projects with a higher effort. But then please go for the projects having of course a high impact of what you want to achieve. So also here is kind of a priority, of course. Also it might be your second priority here. On the other hand, you would love to avoid these ones. So these ones here, I would really rather kind of question mark here, high effort, low impact. So this is the last what I would to go for. And of course, we're talking about low priority here. So very practical, you would ask yourself, if I put this task into practice, if I finished this project, if I achieve this strategic sub-objective, what is the impact on the overall objective, overall goal here? So if it comes to your tasks on your desk, you would ask yourself, well, what is the impact on my career? What is the impact on my bonus at the end of the year? What is my impact for the benefit of the companies? What is the impact of, well, whatever your target is, high or low? Of course, there's no absolute scale, so it's relative. You would start with one task and then go for the second one. So I recommend to use moderation cards whenever you do it in a group session. So when it comes to prioritizing projects within team members or objectives, activities within a management team or departmental team, when several people are involved, a good idea is to have moderation cards and write your projects, ideas, tasks, whatever you use on these moderation cards. So the first can go in and stay. The second, which is coming in, there's only one question. Is the impact higher or lower? More effort, less effort? So you might want to resort. It's all about relative evaluation. It's more or less. And then the third card would come in and would say, okay, it's higher than the first one. Yes, it's also higher than the second I posted. No, it's lower, so it goes in between. So we would like to kind of rearrange it. Now an important practical hint. If you started to do this in a group, you must not start with the crossing here in the middle. Keep it empty. Just have here the axis, high, low, high, and get started with the first moderation card. Because it might happen that the first moderation card stays there. And then you come with the second and you realize, well, it's kind of lower impact. Perhaps even lower effort, and all others having kind of lower effort. So suddenly you turn on having all the cards to the lower part here. this does not necessarily mean that you don't have good ideas, that you don't have good projects. As we know, there's no absolute scale. We only know relatively this idea is having a higher impact than the other idea below here, and this one to carry out needs more effort than the other one here, nothing else. So at the end, once we have all the moderation cards in, I would go with the red one, looking for the center of gravity, which might be here, and I would make then the cross inside. And now relatively to each other, you can see the ones kind of do it, higher impact, lower effort, and you would say the ones who have low priority are the big question mark here. Otherwise, you end up with fierce discussions, according to my experience. If everything is here on the left side, everybody would have kind of a sad face, thinking that, oh, we don't have good ideas, which is actually not the case when we do a relative evaluation. Go along with this handy tool here. If you liked it and you would like to have more of this, please subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss my new videos.